What if every single breath you take is silently deciding your future? What if the way you breathe right now is locking you inside the same cycle of fear, struggle, and frustration? You are breathing more than 20,000 times a day, and with every unconscious breath, you are losing another chance to create the life you want. Most people have no idea that their breath is not just keeping them alive. It is broadcasting their state of being to everyone around them. It is programming the reality they will meet tomorrow. And the terrifying truth is this: every shallow breath is building the prison you keep waking up in. You try to think positively. You try to visualize. You repeat affirmations, but nothing changes. Because you are trying to fix the surface while ignoring the engine that is generating your entire experience. Science has already proven it. Your heart produces an electromagnetic field that reaches up to 8 feet. And that field is shaped directly by your breathing. Every anxious inhale creates chaos. Every conscious exhale creates order. Ancient traditions understood this secret. Breath was not survival. Breath was creation. The Egyptians, the yogis, the sages, they all knew. Each breath could unlock hidden chambers of consciousness. Each inhale could shape the unseen field that organizes matter itself. Mechanical breathing keeps your body alive. Sacred breathing awakens your soul. And the difference is awareness. The moment you reclaim your breath, you stop being a victim of random circumstances. You become the calm center that bends reality around you. But here is the warning. Every unconscious breath you take is a chance you will never get back. You cannot reclaim yesterday's 23,000 breaths. You only have this one. Right now, this is the moment to decide whether you keep surviving or finally start creating. So let me ask you, how many years have you been running, searching, forcing your way through personal development? How many books, courses, and methods have promised change, yet left you restless and tired? You have been trying to solve the wrong problem, because the issue is not your thoughts. It is not your willpower. It is not your discipline. It is your breath. Your breath is the hidden engine behind every emotion, every decision, every state you experience. When you are anxious, your breath is fast and shallow. When you are at peace, your breath deepens, slows, expands. The pattern is not just reflecting your state, it is creating it. And here's the truth that most people never discover. If you do not reclaim your breath, you will remain trapped in cycles you cannot break. You will keep reliving the same patterns, no matter how much you think, plan, or affirm. Now imagine this. A soldier returned from war, broken by sleepless nights and relentless panic. No therapy gave relief. No medication offered peace. Until he was taught one simple act: conscious breathing. Day after day, he practiced. Slowly, the nightmares faded. The trembling eased. Sleep returned. His life began again. Not through thinking, not through fighting, through breath. That is the power in front of you. That is the doorway waiting right now. Every inhale is a choice. Every exhale is a command to reality. With every conscious breath, you can begin to write a new story. You can broadcast a new frequency. You can step out of the prison you built unconsciously and enter the life you were meant to create. So I ask you, are you ready to stop wasting 23,000 chances every day? Are you ready to step into the calm center that organizes reality instead of being swept away by it? If you are ready, comment the word "ready" below and press like right now. Let this moment be the breath where your story changes. Because the question is no longer whether you can transform. The question is this: will you claim the sacred power that has been with you since the first moment you entered this world? Or will you let another day pass, breathing like a machine, while your soul waits for you to remember? The choice is in your breath, and the time is now. It is not a coincidence that your soul chose breath as the very first sign when entering this life. Think about it. Out of everything that could mark your arrival, it was not words. It was not movement. It was not thought. It was breath. Why breath? Why this invisible rhythm that flows in and out of you more than 23,000 times every single day? Because breath is not just survival. Breath is the sacred bridge. The bridge between the seen and the unseen. Between body and soul. Between the life you live now and the life you could be creating. Yet here is the unsettling truth. Most of those 23,000 breaths are wasted, shallow, mechanical, unconscious. You rush through meetings. You lie in bed replaying old conversations. You sit in traffic, frustrated, and breath just slips through you like a forgotten miracle. Every unconscious breath is a missed chance. A missed chance to shape your reality. A missed chance to reset your nervous system. A missed chance to step into the field where change actually begins. What if every inhale was a doorway? What if every exhale was a key? What if breath itself was the sacred technology that you have carried since the day you were born? Modern science is finally catching up to what ancient wisdom has whispered for centuries. Deep diaphragmatic breathing improves heart rate variability. It lowers stress. It restores balance. It strengthens your heart. Each deep breath is like a silent recalibration of your entire system. A CEO in Silicon Valley knows this secret. Before walking into high-pressure meetings, he practices box breathing. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts. Hold. Simple, precise, transformative. With this one act, he turns chaos into clarity, fear into focus, tension into presence. If it works in the boardroom, it can work in your life. Imagine what could shift if you stopped treating breath as background noise and began treating it as the sacred bridge it truly is. Because breath is not just moving air through your lungs. It is moving energy through existence itself. When you breathe unconsciously, you drift. When you breathe consciously, you create. So I ask you, how many opportunities will you continue to throw away each day? How long will you let automatic, shallow breathing dictate the quality of your life? How many more cycles of stress and struggle do you need before you awaken to what has always been within you? The bridge is waiting. Every inhale is an invitation. Every exhale is a decision. And every moment you choose to breathe with awareness, you align yourself with the deeper rhythm of life itself. This is not theory. This is not philosophy. This is your body. This is your heart. This is the electromagnetic field pulsing around you, influenced with every rise and fall of your chest. When you breathe consciously, you send out coherence. You broadcast harmony. You shift the frequency that not only changes your inner world, but touches every person who comes near you. And the question becomes urgent. If breath has this kind of power, what could happen if you devoted yourself to mastering it? What could happen if you stopped wasting those 23,000 daily chances and began shaping them, one by one, into a reality you actually desire? This is your turning point. This is the edge where survival ends and creation begins. If you want to master your breath, if you want to reclaim the sacred bridge that has been waiting for you all along, press like and write the words, conscious breath, in the comments right now. Do not let another day vanish in shallow breathing. Do not let another night close without remembering who you really are. Because the truth is undeniable. Breath is sacred. Breath is the bridge. And once you step onto it, everything changes. So here is the final question. If breath can change your state, what could consciousness itself do when it finally takes the lead? You are not the chaotic stream of thoughts racing through your mind. You are the one who observes them. Have you ever stopped to ask, If you are the one listening to your thoughts, then who are you really? Every morning, you wake up and the noise begins. The phone lights up. Notifications pull you in. You scroll, you compare, you doubt, you fear. Before your feet even touch the ground, your mind is already a battlefield. But here is the truth most people never realize. You are not the battlefield. You are the sky. And those thoughts, no matter how loud, no matter how heavy, are nothing. More than passing clouds. This changes everything. Because when you identify with the clouds, you are pulled in every direction. But when you realize you are the sky, limitless and steady, the chaos loses its grip. So let me ask you, how much of your suffering comes not from reality, but from believing every thought that appears? How many opportunities have you lost because you mistook fear for truth? How many relationships have been weighed down because you confused anger with identity? Science confirms what wisdom traditions have always said. Mindfulness meditation has been shown to increase gray matter density in regions of the brain that regulate emotion and self-awareness. In simple words, the act of observing thoughts literally reshapes the brain. Observation is not passive. It is transformation. A cardiologist in New York discovered this firsthand. Burned out, exhausted, trapped by the constant demand of saving lives, he was drowning in stress until he learned the art of mindful observation, sitting quietly, watching thoughts rise and fall without clinging to them. In time, his energy returned. His compassion deepened. His health improved. Not because his circumstances changed, but because he stopped confusing himself with the storm in his mind. And this is where you stand now, on the edge of remembering that you are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices them. Imagine living with that awareness. Anxiety comes, and you watch it. Doubt arrives, and you notice it. Anger rises, and you see it. And in that moment of pure observation, something powerful happens. The emotion loses control. The thought dissolves. You remain untouched, clear, free. This is not escaping life. This is mastering it. Because when you are no longer enslaved by the mind, you respond instead of react. You choose instead of being pulled. You live as the sky, not as the storm. So, what does this mean for you? It means freedom is closer than you think. It means the chains you feel are illusions. It means the key has been in your hand the entire time. But here is the urgent question. How long will you keep living as if you are the noise, when in truth you are the silence behind it? How many more days will you spend tangled in thoughts that are not even real? You do not have to wait. You can step into freedom right now, by choosing to observe, by breathing, by remembering. If you are ready to break free from the chains of the mind, comment the word freedom below and press like right now. Let this moment be the start of your release, because once you know you are the observer, you will never be the same. Once you see the sky, the clouds can never trap you again. And here is the final question. If awareness alone can shift the entire landscape of your inner world, what could happen when that same awareness begins to shape the reality outside of you? With just a single glance, you have already changed the behavior of an electron. What does that mean for you? What does that reveal about the hidden power you carry right now? Imagine this. 2 doors stand before you. The path you choose determines your future. One door leads to the life you know. The same cycles, the same struggles. The other opens into possibility, transformation, freedom. And the choice is not random. It responds to the awareness you bring in this very moment. This is not fantasy. This is physics. A famous double-slit experiment proves it. When electrons pass through 2 slits, they behave like waves, creating infinite patterns. But the instant they are observed, everything changes. the wave collapses. The electron chooses a fixed path. Observation alone rewrites reality. So ask yourself, if a particle responds to your gaze, what else is reshaped by your attention? If your awareness alters the smallest building blocks of matter, what might it be doing to the fabric of your entire life? You rush through your day believing events are happening to you, believing reality is fixed. But what if reality is waiting for you to look at it differently? What if your awareness is the paintbrush and the universe is the canvas? Quantum physics confirms it. Measurement itself alters outcome. Awareness is not passive. Awareness is active. It shapes, it bends, it creates. Now think of this. A professor at UCLA introduced mindfulness into his neuroscience research. Students were trained to observe their inner world with presence. Over time, their brains physically changed. Gray matter increased, stress circuits calmed, compassion networks expanded. The simple act of awareness reshaped their biology. The observer effect, alive not only in the lab, but in the human mind. So here you are, standing before your two doors. Every thought, every breath, every glance is a choice. One leads back into unconscious reaction, the other into conscious creation. Which door will you walk through? Do not underestimate the danger of ignoring this. Every unconscious glance locks you deeper into patterns you never wanted. Every unclaimed moment of awareness is another wave collapsing into a reality you did not choose. But here lies the opportunity. Each conscious breath, each mindful look, each act of presence opens the second door. The door of possibility. The door of freedom. And the question is urgent. How many more days will you live believing reality is solid, when science has already shown it bends under the weight of your awareness? How much longer will you surrender your creative power by refusing to notice what is truly happening? Because the truth is clear. You are not separate from the experiment. You are the experiment. You are not a victim of observation. You are the observer, and the observer decides the outcome. Imagine the ripple this creates. When you bring awareness to fear, it dissolves. When you bring awareness to doubt, it weakens. When you bring awareness to love, it multiplies. Your gaze feeds reality. What you look at with presence grows strong. What you ignore with presence fades away. So let me ask you now, what future are you building with your awareness? What patterns are you reinforcing? What possibilities are you collapsing into dust by looking the other way? This is not the time to wait. This is not the time to sleepwalk through existence. This is the moment to awaken to what you truly are. If you believe awareness can change the world, share this message right now. Let your action ripple outward. Let your decision inspire someone else to step through their door, because reality is not fixed. The wave has not collapsed. The experiment is still unfolding, and your role in it is greater than you have ever imagined. So here is the question that lingers. If the simple act of observing can shift electrons, then how will you use your awareness to shift the entire reality you are standing in right now? Between two breaths, there is a small doorway that opens into infinite possibility. Have you ever felt the weight of your heart pounding, your mind racing, your body locked in tension? And in that chaos, did you ever wonder if there was a secret switch you could press to stop time, to reset reality itself? What if I told you that switch exists, that it is not hidden in some faraway temple, not buried in a book, not locked behind years of training? It is here, right now, in the tiny pause between your inhale and your exhale. This pause is only 0.3 of a second, but in that fraction of time, everything can change. Imagine this. You are in traffic, frustration rising, your chest tight. You are in an argument, words flying, your pulse out of control. You are about to step onto the stage, your legs shaking, a fear overwhelming. And then you remember. Pause for 0.3 seconds. A breath, a doorway, a reset. Science explains what the mystics always knew. When you pause consciously, when you breathe with awareness, you activate the parasympathetic nervous system. Your cortisol drops, stress dissolves, your body shifts from survival into creation. In less than a second, the battlefield of your mind becomes still. This is not theory. This is biology. And this is not just for monks or mystics. An American Olympic athlete used the quantum pause before stepping onto the track. The stadium was roaring. The stakes were everything. But instead of letting fear take control, he stopped. 0.3 of a second. A pause. His breath slowed. His body aligned. He entered the race not as a victim of nerves, but as the master of his moment. Ask yourself, how many times have you been swept away by the storm because you forgot to pause? How many words have you spoken that you wish you could take back? How many decisions have you made in panic that shaped your future in ways you regret? Now imagine the opposite. Imagine remembering the doorway. In that 0.3 second gap, you set a pure intention. In that pause, you decide who you are, how you respond, what reality you will create. Every pause becomes a chance to program your life from the inside out. This is the quantum pause. Small, invisible, but powerful enough to rewrite your future. Here is the mystery. Why is it so hard for most people to notice something so small? Why do we rush past the very key that could free us? Because we are addicted to speed, to reaction, to noise. We believe we must fight harder, think faster, push further. But creation is not born in chaos. It is born in stillness. So I ask you now, will you keep throwing away 23,000 breaths every day? Or will you claim the fraction of a second that could open infinite possibility? This is not about controlling life. It is about aligning with it. The pause is the bridge. The moment where fear can dissolve, where clarity can appear, where choice becomes possible. And you do not have to wait years to master it. You can try it right now. Stop, breathe in, hold for 0.3 seconds. Exhale. Notice how the storm inside you softens. Notice how the world outside no longer feels so heavy. This is your chance. Do not let it slip. Try it and see for yourself. If you are ready, pause for 3 seconds, take a deep breath, and then comment your feeling below. Press like now, so you anchor this moment not as another piece of information, but as a turning point in your life. Because the truth is simple. Between two breaths lies the doorway to infinite power. Between two breaths, you are no longer a prisoner of reaction. You are the creator of response, the architect of reality, the master of your inner world. So here is the final question. If such vast power is hidden in a pause shorter than a heartbeat, where else inside you might a temple of strength be waiting to be discovered? Your body is the living temple that carries every story you have ever lived. Have you ever wondered why your shoulders tighten when you are stressed? Why your chest feels heavy when grief arrives? Why your stomach twists when fear takes hold? These are not random sensations. They are messages. They are memories written into the muscles, the tissues, the very breath that moves through you. Your body remembers what your mind tries to forget. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every moment you pushed pain down instead of letting it move through. It is all stored in the temple of your body. And this truth carries both danger and promise. Because when the temple is heavy with unprocessed stories, energy cannot flow. You feel blocked, trapped, stuck in cycles you cannot explain. But when the temple is cleansed, when breath is used as the sacred key, the doors open. The flow returns. Life begins again. So let me ask you, How much pain are you still carrying in your body right now? How many times have you blamed your stress on circumstances, when in reality, it is your temple crying out to be cleansed? Science has confirmed what healers have known for centuries. Somatic therapy shows that trauma is not just in the mind. It is held in the body. Muscles tighten, breath shortens. The nervous system locks into survival. But through conscious breathwork, those imprints can be released. The body can reset. The temple can shine again. This is not just theory. In America, a woman who endured years of domestic violence found herself unable to sleep, unable to relax, unable to feel safe, even after leaving the relationship. Traditional therapy gave her insight, but not relief. Then she discovered breathwork. Session after session, guided by breath, her body began to tremble, to release, to let go of the terror it had been holding. Over time, the weight lifted. Her temple was restored. She could breathe freely again. Now imagine your own temple, the weight it carries, the secrets it hides, the memories it locks away. And imagine what would happen if you chose today to unlock those doors. Every conscious breath is a cleansing ritual. Every inhale invites life. Every exhale releases the past. Breath does not just fill your lungs. It sweeps through the temple, clearing the dust, opening the chambers, restoring the sacred flow. This is your chance to stop ignoring the whispers of your body, to stop treating pain as weakness, to stop believing stress is normal. Your temple is speaking. The question is, are you listening? Feel your shoulders now. Feel your chest. Feel your stomach. Notice what they are telling you. Behind the tension is a story. Behind the heaviness is a memory. Behind the knot is an energy waiting to be freed. And freedom is not far. It is as close as your next breath. So I ask you again, will you keep letting your temple carry the weight of every unspoken story? Or will you step into the sacred act of release and let your body finally breathe? If you are ready to liberate your temple, press like right now. Let this moment be the vow you make to yourself. Because once you honor your body as the living temple it is, everything changes. Energy flows. Vitality returns. The past no longer chains you. The temple remembers, but it can also be renewed. Breath is the key. Awareness is the path. And healing is waiting. So here is the final question. When your inner temple is finally cleansed, how might the world outside you begin to transform? You walk into a room, and everyone feels your energy. Before you speak a single word, have you ever noticed how some people change the atmosphere just by entering? The air shifts, the tension eases, calm spreads without explanation, and you wonder, how is this possible? It is not luck. It is not charisma. It is breath. Your breath is not just for you. It radiates. It broadcasts. It creates a field that extends far beyond your skin. Science has already proven it. The human heart produces an electromagnetic field that stretches up to 8 feet in every direction. And the rhythm of your breath shapes that field. Every shallow, stressed inhale sends chaos into the space around you. Every conscious, coherent breath sends harmony. Without a single word, your presence is already speaking. So I ask you, what are you broadcasting right now? What signal is your body sending into the world? And how much of your life is shaped not by what you say, but by the unseen energy you carry? Imagine walking into a meeting where nerves are high, but instead of being consumed, you breathe steadily. Your calm heart radiates coherence. Slowly, the room softens. People speak differently. Decisions shift. All because of the invisible field your breath created. This is not magic. This is measurable. The HeartMath Institute has shown that synchronized breathing transforms the heart's rhythm. That rhythm entrains those nearby. Your field affects theirs. And together, the group finds balance. In California, a teacher discovered this with her own students. The classroom was loud, restless, uncontrollable. Nothing worked until she taught her students to breathe in unison. Within weeks, the chaos melted. The room became a sanctuary of focus and calm. Test scores rose. Discipline issues dropped. A power of collective breath changed everything. And now the question becomes urgent. If a single teacher can transform an entire classroom, what could you transform with the field you carry? What home could you heal? What workplace could you balance? What relationship could you restore? Because whether you realize it or not, you are influencing every space you enter. The only question is, are you radiating chaos or coherence? Most people waste this power. They let stress dictate their breath. They let fear contract their chest. They walk into rooms leaking anxiety and wonder why tension follows them. But you can choose differently. You can breathe differently. You can broadcast a different reality. And this choice is not complicated. It begins with the next inhale. Slow, conscious, intentional. In that breath, your field shifts. In that breath, your presence changes. In that breath, you step into the role of influencer, not by words, but by energy. So what will you do with this? Will you keep spilling unconscious stress into every space? Or will you claim the sacred responsibility of radiating coherence wherever you go? Because when you change your breath, you change the field. And when you change the field, you change the world. This is not about control. It is about resonance. You do not force others to feel calm. You invite them. You remind them. You awaken in them what was always there. And here lies the true secret. The greatest leaders do not lead with words. They lead with presence. They lead with the invisible power of their field, the same power that you carry now. If you believe your breath can shape more than your own body, if you know it can ripple into the lives around you, then share this message right now. Let your field extend beyond this moment. Let your presence spark change in someone else, because you have always been more than an individual. You are a walking field of energy, a living transmitter of coherence or chaos, and the world is responding, whether you know it or not. So I ask you once more, if your breath can influence not only your own life, but the lives of everyone within 8 feet of you, then what might happen if millions of people chose coherence together? If breath shapes the world, then silence itself may be the greatest force of all. And here is the final question. If your breath already affects the entire room, could stillness itself become the ultimate power? In the eye of the storm, where chaos explodes all around, there exists absolute stillness. Have you ever wondered why you feel so exhausted, even when you give everything? Why success seems to demand endless struggle, sleepless nights, constant running, yet leaves you empty? What if everything you've been taught about effort is incomplete? What if the breakthrough does not come from pushing harder, but from entering the stillness that few dare to explore? You see, the quantum field does not respond to force. It does not react to desperation. It does not bend to effort. It responds only to alignment, to frequency, to coherence. So here's the question. Are you fighting life, or are you in tune with it? You can run 16 hours a day. You can chase, grind, and force. But if your frequency is chaos, the results will be chaos. If your breath is shallow and frantic, your field will broadcast disorder. And no amount of effort can override that signal. But step into stillness, and everything changes. When you breathe deeply, slowly, consciously, your heart rate variability improves. Your body shifts into coherence. Your nervous system finds balance. And in that state, you are no longer colliding with the world. You are moving with it. This is not weakness. This is power. Think about the calm in the eye of the storm. The winds rage, destruction swirls, but at the center there is peace. That peace is not passive. It holds the entire storm together. Stillness is not absence of power. It is the source of it. And here's the proof. A startup entrepreneur in America believed that success meant working 16 hours a day. He burned out. His health collapsed. His vision blurred. He thought quitting was the only option. Then he discovered meditation. 10 minutes a day, sitting in silence, observing breath, allowing stillness. Within months, his creativity returned. His company found its breakthrough, not because he worked harder, but because he aligned deeper. So let me ask you, how many years have you been grinding, believing that suffering is the price of success? How many dreams have you crushed under the weight of exhaustion? Because no one told you that the true key is stillness. The choice stands before you now. Keep fighting the storm or step into the calm center. And here is the paradox. When you surrender to stillness, life begins to move for you. Opportunities appear. Synchronicities align. Doors open. Because the universe responds not to how hard you push, but to how deeply you resonate. Your breath is the gateway. Slow it down. Deepen it. Feel coherence spread through your body. This is not escape. This is entering the true frequency of creation. So what will you choose? To keep exhausting yourself in the noise? Or to discover the unstoppable force hidden inside the silence? This is your invitation. If you are ready to learn the art of living from stillness, comment the word stillness right now. Press like so this moment becomes your first act of alignment. Because the truth is simple. Success is not born in struggle. It is born in resonance. Stillness is not empty. It is full of power. And once you taste it, once you realize the storm cannot touch you when you live from the center, you will never go back to the old way again. So here is the final question. If stillness is strong enough to hold the storm itself, what could it do for the life you are creating right now? You do not need to force life. You only need to cooperate with its flow. How much energy have you wasted trying to control everything? How many nights have you stayed awake, replaying scenarios, calculating outcomes, holding tighter and tighter, only to feel more exhausted, more frustrated, more defeated? What if the very act of control is the reason you feel so drained? What if life was never meant to be wrestled into shape, but aligned with, like a river, carrying you toward your destination? Think of an archer. The master archer does not fight the bow. He does not rush the release. He does not grip with panic. He prepares in silence. He breathes. He aligns. And when the moment comes, he lets go with precision. One arrow, one release. Perfect timing. This is the difference between control and alignment. Control is forcing. Alignment is mastery. So ask yourself, are you tightening the bowstring in fear? Or are you breathing into alignment, waiting for the right moment to act? Mindfulness shows us the way. Science has proven it. Practicing awareness reduces stress. It improves decision-making. It calms the nervous system, opening space for clarity. Instead of reacting from fear, you respond from alignment. Instead of forcing outcomes, you choose the moment when action flows naturally. This is not about doing less. It is about doing with precision. About stepping into the flow where effort is multiplied, where time bends, where results appear without struggle. In the NBA, a legendary coach taught his players the art of focus breathing. Before free throws, before high-pressure plays, they learned to breathe, to align, to enter the flow. And in that state, the noise of the crowd disappeared. The pressure dissolved. Shots landed with ease. Victory came not from more effort, but from deeper alignment. And you too have this choice. Will you keep clinging to control, tightening your grip until your body aches, until your mind breaks? Or will you learn the power of alignment, the secret of cooperating with the rhythm that already surrounds you? Control burns energy. Alignment generates it. Control breeds anxiety. Alignment creates confidence. Control is rooted in fear. Alignment is rooted in trust. So why keep fighting? Why keep exhausting yourself with battles you cannot win? Life is not your enemy. Life is the current. And the moment you stop resisting, the current carries you. Not aimlessly, but toward the very outcomes your soul has been seeking. This is your turning point. Right here, right now, to release the illusion of control and embrace the truth of alignment. And this is not weakness. This is strength. The strongest tree bends with the storm. The most skilled sailor adjusts to the wind. The master archer releases. When the moment is right, alignment is not surrender. Alignment is strategy. So I ask you again, what would your life look like if you stopped forcing and started aligning? How much peace would return? How much clarity would arrive? How much power would you finally feel pulsing through you? You do not have to imagine. You can begin this shift today. One conscious breath, one act of awareness, one choice to align instead of control. And in that choice, a new path opens. If you are ready to commit to living in alignment, press like right now. Let this moment be your first act of cooperation with life instead of resistance to it. Because the truth is undeniable. Control is an illusion. Alignment is reality. And once you learn to align, you step into the flow that was carrying you all along. So here is the final question. If alignment can dissolve fear, sharpen action, and unlock the flow of life itself, then how might it help you break free from procrastination and overcome the very fears that have held you back for years? Fear exists only when you step away from the calm center of your own being. Think about it. How many times have you delayed what matters most? Not because you lacked the ability, but because fear whispered in your ear. You wanted to start. You wanted to act. But the weight of failure, the dread of judgment, the overload of possibilities froze you in place. This is the hidden trap of procrastination. It disguises itself as laziness, but beneath it, there is always fear. Fear of not being good enough. Fear of wasting time. Fear of stepping into the unknown. So here is the question. What if fear is not the problem? What if your distance from your center is the only issue? Because when you are centered, when you breathe deeply, when you return to presence, fear cannot hold its shape. It dissolves. And action flows naturally. Not from panic, but from alignment. Science has shown this clearly. Deep breathing activates the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for decision-making and clarity. In that moment, you are no longer hijacked by fear. You are guided by reason. You are moved by purpose. And this is not theory. A student in America once trembled at the thought of public speaking, panic before every presentation, sleepless nights before exams. But then he learned a simple practice, box breathing. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts hold. Slowly, fear lost its grip. The trembling faded. Confidence emerged. He stood on stage calm, centered, clear. Fear had no place because he had returned to the center. So ask yourself, how many dreams are you postponing right now? How many opportunities are slipping away? Not because you cannot act, but because you let fear control the stage. Every time you delay, fear grows stronger. Every time you act from alignment, fear shrinks. The difference is not in your skills, not in your resources, but in whether you breathe into your center or abandon it. Imagine this. Tomorrow, you wake up with the same fears, the same doubts, the same mountain of tasks. But instead of letting panic dictate your choices, you pause. You breathe. You step into coherence. From that place, you choose one small action. You do it with clarity. And suddenly, momentum is born. Fear loses its power because you are no longer feeding it with avoidance. This is the cycle of transformation. Breathe, align, act, repeat. Every time you return to the center, you weaken the chains of procrastination. You train your nervous system to trust action instead of fear. But the choice is yours. How many more days will you spend in hesitation? How many more chances will you let pass, waiting for the perfect moment that never arrives? There is no perfect moment. There is only this one. And the more you practice returning to your center, the easier it becomes to act boldly in the face of fear. So here is your invitation. Right now, breathe in deeply. Hold for a moment. Exhale slowly. Feel the calm spreading through your chest. This is your center. This is the place where fear cannot touch you. And from here, choose one action. Small, simple, but real. Because once you act from alignment, you break the spell of procrastination. You prove to yourself that fear was never stronger than your breath. If you are ready to act, comment the words "Start Now" below and share this message so others can remember their center too. Press like to anchor this choice in your nervous system. Let this be your first act of courage, because the truth is clear. Fear is not your enemy. Procrastination is not your destiny. You are not weak. You are simply disconnected from your center. And the moment you return, everything shifts. So here is the final question. If knowledge alone is not enough, if action must come from alignment, then how will you turn all of this into a living practice every single day? Every breath you take is an opportunity to rewrite the story of your life. Have you realized this yet? That the journey you have walked through in these moments has not been about information. It has been about transformation. You are not the same person who pressed play. You have touched something deeper, and now the choice stands before you. What will you do with this breath? You have seen the truth. Breath is not survival. Breath is creation. Each inhale is a chance to awaken. Each exhale is a chance to release. And the question is no longer whether you understand. The question is whether you will live it. Imagine this. Tomorrow morning, you wake. Instead of rushing to your phone, instead of letting anxiety flood your body, you place a hand on your belly. You breathe deep into the diaphragm. Calm spreads. Clarity rises. You start your day not in chaos, but in coherence. At work. Before the meeting, you feel your pulse race. Instead of drowning in nerves, you use box breathing. 4 counts in. 4 counts hold, 4 counts out, 4 counts hold. Suddenly, focus sharpens, fear fades. You step into flow. At night, when the weight of the day feels heavy, you pause. Just 0.3 seconds between inhale and exhale, the quantum pause. In that tiny gap, intention forms, energy resets. You remember who you are. These are not small acts, they are revolutionary. And science proves it. Neuroplasticity shows that new habits of breathing literally reshape the brain. Circuits of fear weaken. Pathways of clarity strengthen. In just weeks, your temple begins to rewire itself. A group of students in America experienced this firsthand. For 8 weeks, they practiced mindful breathing each day. Their stress dropped. Their focus sharpened. Their grades improved. Not because they studied harder, but because their minds and bodies finally aligned. So let me ask you now, what would your life look like if you gave yourself that same gift? How different would your relationships be? How powerful would your choices become? How unstoppable would your path feel if every breath was used consciously, not wasted unconsciously? This is your moment. You stand at the threshold of a new story. Behind you, the old habits wait to pull you back. Ahead of you, a doorway opens into a life designed by intention. Which path will you choose? Do not let this pass. Do not let this be just another video you watch and forget. Take action. Anchor the choice right now. Comment below with the words, "Breathe and create," so you declare your commitment. Press like so you lock this decision into your body. Share this video so others step through their doorway too. And subscribe so you continue this journey with us, breath by breath, step by step, because this is not the end. This is the beginning. The journey continues every time you inhale with awareness, every time you exhale with release, every time you remember that you are the author of your own story. So here is the final question. Are you ready to step through your own doorway and claim the life that has been waiting for you all along?